YouTube. Today I'm going to be doing my April book haul, and yeah, there are a lot of books. It's safe to say there are too many books. Considering I wanted to go on a bit of a book buying ban after last month, I've not done that at all. But let's face it, who is there that said that they're going to go on a book buying ban that has actually stuck to it? That's what I want to know. Have any of you ever said, I'm going on a book buying ban, and actually stuck to it? If you have, serious kudos to you, because I have no self-control with books, it seems. Also, I'm going to take this as an opportunity to show off my new Disney mug because I'm like in love with it, and it says, even in the morning I'm still the fairest one of them all, with this really cool artwork of like all the princesses, so I'm kind of in love with that. Then I'll put my trusty coffee on the side and we're gonna get started. I feel like this is gonna be a long video. First book I have to show you guys is Revived by Kat Patrick. Now, I picked this one up purely because of the tagline. It says, the first time I died I was 5 years old, and that just sounds so intriguing. I'm really curious what on earth is going on. It also has a really gorgeous cover. I love her hair. It's not like blonde, it's just yellow. No idea what it's about, but it's really short, so it should be a fast read. So next up, after hearing so much about it from like everyone on BookTube who seemed to actually review this one, even though it's only like, what, 14 pages long, is Kindred Spirits by Rainbow Rowell. It was a World Book Day book, so it was only £1. I haven't yet read it, even though it's so small, which is kind of like shaming, that's not a word. I'm kind of ashamed that I haven't read it considering it's so short. But yes, I think this short story takes place in a queue for Star Wars. I've also yet to read anything by Rainbow Rowell, so this is probably the easiest way to get into reading a new author that there could possibly be. 14-page long story. So the next book is Everything Everything by Nicola Yoon. Now, I've seen this one sort of around in shops for a while but never picked it up, but I thought it had a really beautiful cover, and after seeing it in a charity shop I just thought, well, I may as well pick it up. It looks so good. I keep seeing it around. It's to do with a girl who is 17 years old and she doesn't leave the house because she is just allergic to everything. And then there is a boy next door, so I'm assuming that there's either going to be like some kind of friendshiply getting her out of the house or romance. Next up, I picked up The Girl Who Played With Fire by Stieg Larsson. Now, I picked this one up because for about 4 years I've had book 1 and book 3, and I've never wanted to pick them up and start it because I didn't have book 2. But yeah, I felt like I may as well get this. It was like 50p, so why not? And now I can get stuck into the trilogy. I should probably look up what they're actually about. I feel like it's been so long since I picked up book 1 and 3, or got given book 1 and 3, that I've actually forgotten what on earth is going on in these books. But I'm looking forward to reading it anyway because they're so highly like acclaimed by so many people. Next up is a book called Stravaganza, City of Masks by Mary Hoffman. Now, I literally had no idea what this was about when I picked it up. Isn't it just like the most beautiful cover in the world? The dust jacket, just eyes. That's so cool. Oh, there's a map. I didn't even see the map. There is a map in this book. So I've not seen this anywhere. I've not heard anything about it. I just picked it up purely because of how utterly beautiful this cover is. If you've read this one, feel free to let me know in the comments what you think of it, but I am just really, really excited because it's just so cool at the end of the day. Like, you could just be like, oh, oh, where are the eyes? There they are. Oh, oh, oh. Okay, yeah, I'm having way too much fun with this book. Next up is Mark Haddon's The Curious Incident of the Dog at the Nighttime. That took me like 3 attempts to say correctly. So yeah, I've wanted to watch the movie of this for ages, and I figured I should probably read the book first because why not? It's a habit I want to get into more, reading the books before I see TV shows and films that are made from them. So this one's to do with like a boy with Asperger's, and it's like a murder mystery crime type thing, and it's just meant to be a really, really incredible novel. I think it's like won some awards. Does it say on here? I think it probably does. Yeah, look there. Winner of the Whitbread Book of the Year. So I'm sure that it will be pretty darn awesome. Next up, I picked up a finished copy of Black Ice by Becca Fitzpatrick. So I do actually have a proof copy of this book, but I wanted a like completed one, and they've got different covers as well, so I'm not sure if one of these is like a US and one of them's a UK or something, because I completely flukily kind of picked this one up from a charity shop a few years ago, and I didn't realise till I got home that it was actually a proof edition, so I figured that I will get the main edition as well. I've still not read this book, so now I have a choice which one I want to read. I think I'll probably read the final one because if there was anything changed, I'm sure that Becca Fitzpatrick would want people to read it how it's like intended, its final completed edition. So yes, now I have like a little Becca Fitzpatrick collection going on. Oh, they're different heights. That's so annoying. I also had no idea what this one's about because on the proof edition that I have on the back it's just loads of praise for Becca Fitzpatrick, which is all well and good, but now I have no idea what it's about. Something about backpacking and snow. Okay, so it's something snowy and backpacky. I don't know. I love Becca Fitzpatrick, so I don't really need to know too much about her work to just dive straight into a book because she is an awesome writer. Next up, I bought this really cute tiny book called A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. Now I have like a thing for really old books. I don't know if you can see, it's kind of up there. I have like a whole bunch of Charles Dickens really old stuff, and then Enid Blyton's Tales of Long Ago, so I kind of like to collect them. I really want like a really nice Jane Austen Pride and Prejudice old book, but I picked this one up and I think and there's like annotations in it from people from 1947, which I think is just so cool. So yeah, I had to pick this up because I really want to read A Tale of Two Cities. I love Charles Dickens and I just love old books, so now it can go sit up with the others. Next up is the Versions of Us by Laura Barnett. Now I've seen this around everywhere. I think it was like W.H. Smith's book club book of the month sometime. It's such a bright and colourful cover as well, which for some reason I really seem to lack on my shelves. Everything seems to be so dark and dreary or white, and I want some more colour for my shelves. So it follows Eva and Jim, who are 19 at Cambridge, and I think it's like in the mid 1950s, I want to say. So yes, I don't know too much more about this. I think it's just like a contemporary novel following those two, so I'm looking forward to getting into this when I fancy a more contemporary read. Next up, I picked up a copy of The Duff by Cody Keplinger. Now I absolutely loved the movie of this book, so again I want to read the book because I've seen the movie and it was just so funny. It was just such an amusing film, and it follows a girl who's like the Duff, the designated ugly fat friend, so it's like the one that sort of sticks out in a group, and it's just about her trying to kind of attract a guy, get a boyfriend, and it's hilarious. So I'm hoping that the hilarity is still there in the book, which I'm sure it will be, so I'm really looking forward to reading this one next time I need like a funny read. Next up, by George R. R. Martin, I picked up A Storm of Swords #1, Steel and Snow. Now I only have like I think the first and second book. I'm not sure which one this is in the season series even, but basically when I see them in the charity shop and they're like decent condition and they're this set of the covers, I'm slowly collecting them so that I can read through them all, because there are so many that if I bought them from a regular bookstore it would just cost so much money, and I just can't sort of warrant spending that much money at the moment. I just don't have that money to spend. So yeah, everybody knows what Game of Thrones is about, because if you don't, you need to go watch TV series because it's flippin' awesome, and it was back the other day and I still haven't watched the new episode. I need to go and do that. But yes, Game of Thrones is just like one of my favourite TV series, so I needed all the books. Next up is Neil Gaiman's The Ocean at the End of the Lane. Now I know this is like the 2013 award-winning book of the year by Specsavers National Book Awards. Yeah! I only knew that because it says it on the front. But yes, I've heard so much about Neil Gaiman and I don't think I've read a single thing, so I figured this short, nice little contemporary book would be a good way to jump into his work. And then I looked at the back and found out it wasn't contemporary, it's fantasy, which, not gonna lie, makes me even more inclined to read this, because a short fantasy book is really cool because I love fantasy, it's one of my favourite genres, and the fact that it's small means that I can just read it really quickly and not have to get invested too much in another series, because I have far too many series on the go. So yeah, let me know what you think of this one if you've read it actually, because it just looks really intriguing. I really love the cover. Next up, I received a book called The Novice, and no, it wasn't by Taran Matharu this time. This time it was by Trudy Canavan, or Canavan, and I had book 1 and 3 for ages again, and saw book 2 and thought, you know what, I should get this, because my friend was like raving about this literally in year 10, so that was like way too many years ago, and she just loved this series so much that I figured I should probably get them, and it really amuses me that now I have 2 books called The Novice. But yes, now I can make funny jokes that I have several copies of The Novice. Trudy Canavan's The Novice. Gonna read this series soon, because now I have another complete series. Reading all the series, I'm just gonna have too many series. Series. Next up, after going to a Mallory Blackman book event and signing, I picked up a copy of Noughts and Crosses, because I figured that I should probably start reading some of her books. She's written like 57 books or something crazy, which is just absolutely madness. And I know that people were reading this back when I was at school, but I think it's just like a printed signature. I don't think it's a real signature, like just a photocopy of one. But yeah, so I think this is a takeoff of Romeo and Juliet, and there's like race issues within it, and I don't know, it just looks really, really interesting. Next up is a book that I didn't realise was book 2 until I got it home, but it is The Glass Republic by Tom Pollock. I just thought this book was really pretty, and there are like doppelgangers and alternate worlds through mirrors, and it just sounded really interesting. So now I'm gonna have to get book 1 so that I can read book 2. But yeah, I seem to have a really bad habit of picking up book 2 in a series and not realising. I think I've done it a few times before. Also, it kind of reminds me of the London skyline, which I really liked because I really like the cover. So yes, I'm looking forward to hunting down book 1. Next up is like the biggest, coolest book that I've seen in a while, and that's The Redemption of Alphalus by David and Leah Eddings, and this is a really, really old copy. So this was printed in 2000, which means that all the edges are like really yellow. I found this in like a old used bookstore in Brighton, and the cover looked so pretty and intriguing, and I think this is like an 800-page book, so I'm definitely gonna have to sit down one day when I've got some real time and get stuck into this one. It's an epic high fantasy tale, and I've never read anything by them. I've never seen anything by them or seen anybody talk about them, but I'm quite interested in what this is all about. And of course it can just be a mismatch with all my shelves because it's too tall to fit next to any of the others. So next up I picked up a copy of Half Lost, which is the 3rd book in the Half Bad trilogy by Sally Green. Now I've not read the first 2 yet, and I've only owned the first one, but I saw this and it was just so gorgeous on like release dates, and it's signed and it says we should agree on some passwords. I don't know, I presume it's something from this book or from this series, but I definitely want to get stuck into it ASAP and buy book 2 so I can do that. But literally it's just the most beautiful book, and if you take off the cover, since when do you get bright silver shiny books under the dust jackets? I've never seen anything like it, and it's actually beautiful. I'm not gonna look at the blurb on this one because obviously I've not read the first 2, but I know it's about a guy who's like half black witch, half white witch, and they're like good and evil witches, I think, and there's like a film being made of book 1. I don't know, I just need to get stuck into this series soon. And then next up is Head Over Heels by Holly Smale. I picked this up at her event. I've read the first 2 books in this series so far, and I still need to work my way through the next couple / buy them so that I can get to this beautiful book. But yeah, I got this one signed as well. So yeah, it says, "Dear Alexina, hope you like it. Love, Holly Smale." I am super excited to get to this one because I'm really enjoying this series. It's just so funny and packed full of random quotes. It follows a girl called Harriet, who is like a geeky, nerdy girl, and she's thrown into the world of modelling, and she is very, very clumsy, to say the least. So yeah, it's definitely contemporary. It's a very funny book, and I would definitely recommend it for people who loved the whole Louis Renaissance series and stuff like that. Next up is Mallory Blackman's new book, Chasing the Stars. Now I picked this up at her signing event in London with Anissa from Fairy Loot, which was super fun, and we got our book signed. So it says, "To Alexina, love Mallory Blackman," again, woo. So yeah, this is like a space-themed retelling of Othello by Shakespeare. It just sounds so awesome, it sounds so interesting, and it's a big old book. I'm slowly collecting these like American hardbacks. At least then I can end up with a whole shelf of them so they'll actually be the same height, because my books are just so disjointed. They look like steps everywhere. Next up, by Rochelle Mead, I have The Glittering Court, which is her new series. I think it's like a trilogy, I want to say, and it follows a girl who joins the Glittering Court to try and get out of an arranged marriage, and I'm not too sure much else. I think the Glittering Court kind of trains underprivileged girls to get a good marriage, which doesn't seem like the best place to go to escape from an arranged marriage, but hey, it looks like a really interesting book, and I've never read anything by Rochelle Mead, so it'll probably be like a good idea to get stuck in some, because I know she's written the Bloodline series and the Vampire Academy, and I've kind of really wanted to read them both for a while. I've just never gotten around to it because they're such big series that it's quite a commitment. So yeah, I actually received this book in my April Fairy Loot unboxing, which I will link down in the description if you want to check out what else was in my box. In my Fairy Loot box, I also got a free preview of The Wrath and the Dawn by Renee I can't say that even slightly. But anyway, I know the sequel is coming out super soon, and I've really wanted to read this book for ages, so I think it's just a sign that I need to go out and pick up the first book in time for the sequel. It's kind of like, have you noticed that A Court of Thorns and Roses, which is also a Beauty and the Beast retelling, both first books are red and both of the sequels are blue? Has anybody else noticed that? It's so random. But yeah, so thank you again, Fairy Loot. So next up, Hodder and Stoughton sent me Second Lives by Scott K. Andrews. Now this is the second book in the Time Bomb series, I believe, so I kind of need to pick up book 1 and read that one before I look too much into this one. But I know it follows 3 people who, when they sort of touch hands or when they come into contact with one another, they can travel through time, and they have these absolutely gorgeous covers. Literally, I've not seen anything this like gorgeous in ages. It's just so pretty. So yeah, this is like a YA sci-fi thriller kind of thing, and I'm really excited to get stuck into this series. So next up, I received Unrivaled by Alison Knoll. So I have actually received an ebook copy and a physical copy by Harlequin, and this is the first book in a new series of the Beautiful Idol series. It's said to be kind of a combination of Gossip Girl and Pretty Little Liars, and whilst I've not watched Gossip Girl myself, I've watched Pretty Little Liars, and I absolutely love that TV show. So yeah, it'll be good to get into a new contemporary series, and I'm really looking forward to reading this one. I'm hopefully going to get to it this week. Now Harlequin have also sent me an e-copy of Don't You Cry by Mary Kubica? Mary Kubica? I'm not sure how to say your name, sorry. But this one also looks really interesting. It has faces on the cover, so potential book and face. If you get like a physical copy, you can have the 2 different faces as book and face, because why not? So I don't think this one's actually a YA novel. I think this one is more thriller, mystery, suspense again. And it follows somebody who disappears from her home, leaving a note addressed to my dearest. Her roommate is left to kind of pick up the pieces and try and figure out where on earth she's gone, what's happened. Then this novel is also told in sort of 2 parts from what I can make out. So then in another part, there is a mysterious woman who turns up at a shop where Alex Gallo works. He's immediately drawn to her, and I'm thinking this is going to be Esther, and that she's just disappeared and reappeared in this place. So I'm really intrigued to sort of find out more and see what's going on, where Esther's gone, if my prediction is right. I also received an e-copy of The Summoner Book 2, which, oh my goodness, I'm so excited about. The Inquisition by Taran Matharu. So I was sent this by Hodder Books, and I am so excited to read this. Literally, you cannot believe how excited I am right now. Literally, I'm gonna go out and buy a Kindle this week just so that I can put all of these art copies onto my Kindle and read them out on the train or something like that, because I've been reading all the Kindle copies at the moment on my laptop, and I'm really sick of it because it's just not the same. I don't like reading things on my laptop so much. So yes, I am so excited to finally have my hands on a copy of this. I'm so excited. So yes, you can expect a video with me being super excited about the Inquisition super soon, because I can't believe I've managed to get a hold of a copy of this, because it's just like one of my favourite series now. Hello from future Xena! So I went out the day after filming everything else, and whilst I was out, I found The Inquisition by Taran Matharu. It was out in hardcover a week early in my local Waterstones, so of course I had to get it. So this counts as part of my April book haul, and it's amazing, and I just wanted to come back and show you guys all how beautiful this book is, literally. It's so pretty. I now have an e-copy and a physical copy of this, and it's before release day, and I'm so excited. Literally can't wait to read this book and find out what happens next. I really needed to know. And then I'm gonna have to wait like a whole nother year for the 3rd book. So yes, now this can go live on my shelves with the 1st book and be happy. Goodbye from future Xena! Whoop, 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 whoop. So lastly, I received a e-copy of Heroine Complex by Sarah Kuhn. So this one actually looks really, really interesting. I literally know nothing about it, but the cover is so like animated. It reminds me of comic books and mangas and stuff like that. so I'm really excited to see what it's about. I'm guessing from the cover that there's some kind of superpowers within it. Maybe they're heroes, they're superheroes. That's what I'm hoping for, so I'm really excited to read this one as well. So yeah, thank you to the companies who sent me the like e-copies and the physical copy. Super excited to read all of them, and you will probably see reviews from all of them on my channel in the upcoming months as they are released. So yeah, let me know what books you guys picked up this month. I'd love to hear in the comments. Maybe we picked up some of the same stuff. But yeah, I think this video is going to be a bit long, so apologies in advance. Although this is at the end of the video, so apologies at the end, and I will see you next time, guys. Bye! Next up is The Curious Dog of the Instant of the Night. What? So I've actually been sent a paper. You know you've bought too many books in a month when you can't stack them very well. Guys, this is gonna go so badly. I dropped everything and then the camera got knocked over. I saved 3 of them. Bye guys!